Students clashing with police, tents set up on college campuses. Across America, chaos engulfs universities as pro-Palestinian protests spread coast to coast. Let's take a look at what's behind these demonstrations. Protesters at major universities like Columbia, Yale, and University of Southern California are calling for a permanent ceasefire in Gaza and an end to U.S. military assistance for Israel. They also want universities to divest assets from Israel and from arms suppliers and other companies profiting from the war in Gaza.
We have three demands. Divest all finances. 2, provide financial transparency of all investments. And 3, ensure amnesty for all students and faculty arrested, disciplined, or fired in connection with the movement for Palestinian liberation.
Pro-Palestinian protests have drawn students and faculty from various backgrounds, including those of Jewish and Muslim faiths. The groups organizing the protests include Students for Justice in Palestine and Jewish Voice for Peace. Organizers have widely condemned violence against pro-Israel counter-protesters, but some Jewish students say they have faced anti-Semitic chants.
And when you're an Israeli student on this campus, you feel like you have a target on your back. You feel unsafe.
School administrators and local law enforcement have cracked down on protests. Hundreds have been arrested and dozens have been suspended from studies. Columbia University President Minouche Shafik called in New York police to clear the encampment on campus, saying it violated rules against unauthorized protests.
They asked us to come onto campus to take action, and we did.
Some universities temporarily canceled in-person classes.
Free, free, free Palestine.
U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson visited Columbia to meet with Jewish students intimidated by some anti-Israeli demonstrators.
My message to the students inside the encampment is go back to class and stop the nonsense.
And this came about because we as students and other members of the UCLA community have we've been seeing the 6 months of Israel's genocide of Palestinians. We've seen the 75 plus years of Israeli occupation of Palestine. And we came together to make demands on the university to divest the endowment from corporations that profit off of Israeli genocide, to disclose where our money is invested in the first place, and to stop over-policing and collaborating with the LAPD to target pro-Palestinian student organizing, and overall to call for an immediate and permanent ceasefire, and to stop the genocide of Palestinians. I don't think that our concerns about our personal safety are at the forefront of our minds right now. I think at the forefront of our minds is the violence that Palestinians are suffering at the hands of the Israeli state every day, these last 6 months and last, again, almost 80 years.
There's no way. In the most Jewish part of LA.
I think that, showing up for it and keeping the demands clear, that's our strategy. Showcasing how much Palestinians are suffering, how much violence Israel is inflicting upon the population. Again, pointing out where our money is being kept. These are all things that give students the power to target the UC as an institution and to put pressure on them to divest.
Harvard remains materially and morally complicit in the genocide of Palestinians, which is why we continually see protests happening, we see student repression happening of those protests, and we see continually people like ourselves, organizers with the cause, trying to create a sense of community around the fact that we are people that are campaigning for a particular cause, and that cause being the cause of the Palestinians.
I'll send you an email. It looks like over there.
On a human level, it feels incredibly disappointing. I think this has been probably one of the worst times that the Muslim, the Arab community, the South Asian community has seen in terms of repression of their voices, in terms of how felt and heard they felt on this campus, just by virtue of the thing that they've been wanting to see, just by virtue of the campaigns that they've wanted to commit themselves for, and just in terms of the kind of protection and safety that they expect from the university when it comes to just having their voices heard.
I think the problem is that there needs to be nuance for any cause that you support. I think everybody should sort of state their axioms in which that they are against hate and terror. I think anybody who supported the October 7th Hamas attack sort of needs to rethink their decisions and sort of come back to together a collective humanity. Of course, there's a long history. Of course, there can be valid criticism of Israel. At the same time, you want to make sure what you're saying specifically is not offensive and hurtful to Jewish students. And so if there is a saying such as from the river to the sea or globalize the Intifada that is anti-Semitic for students, there is no need to continue saying it. If you're criticizing Israel, just move to another slogan. The fact that some of these people are continuing to say these things is a bit troubling to me. And I wish some people would also draw the line between their support of Palestine and their support of Hamas.
in that sense, it's been very disruptive on an emotional level when it comes to like seeing your identities being used as cards for diversity, as cards for, you know, what the university wants for itself and its image and its reputation. But the moment that we actually require a level of safety and a level of comfort and a level of promise when it comes to being able to have our voices heard, we have that immediately and absolutely compromised and no protection given to us.
I was very disappointed by the lack of willingness from the students to sort of engage in that dialogue, and rather they turned to sort of yelling and shouting.
No peace on stolen